This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. We're here in Vancouver at a metal writers conference, and I am joined by the one and only Peter Schiff. Sir, thank you for talking to us again. Now, you're a man who's successfully predicted booms and busts, and well, I mean,
some would argue with you.
well, as somebody, what I want to get your thoughts on today a little bit is, as a metals guy, I hear from people there is a potential of manipulation in the gold markets. And what are your thoughts on that? Does that happen? And if so, how could something like that be done, and who's orchestrating it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I do know that certainly if I were a central banker, having gold low would be helpful to me, because gold is really a competitor for the currencies that the central banks create. So if you lose confidence in the dollar or the euro or the yen, you can use gold. And a lot of times central bankers, therefore, want the price of gold to be down. It's kind of like the canary in a coal mine. If you were trying to gas all the miners, you'd want to keep the canary alive, right? So they wouldn't run out of the mine if they saw the canary killing over. So to the extent that you can keep that canary alive long enough to kill everybody, right, you can accomplish your objective. So if you look at gold, it's kind of like the canary in the monetary coal mine. And so I could see why they would want to keep it alive. But I don't know if there's any kind of coordinated conspiracy, or the fact is that a lot of big banks simply pursue their own self-interest. And certainly Wall Street, I mean, they don't want the price of gold going up. They want the price of stocks going up. They want the price of bonds going up. That's where they generate all their fees. So they have a vested interest in being negative gold. But it's also kind of a self-perpetuating prophecy. If they keep selling into the rallies and you have so much gold that trades in paper markets where it's not real, you have people buying gold from people who don't even have it. And they're selling gold they don't own to people who don't want it. But you have this huge paper market, and there's a lot of selling pressure there. But I think ultimately the price of gold is going way up, and the fact that maybe it's suppressed, maybe it's intentional, maybe it's just the result of people doing what they think is right. But all bubbles are like that. You have bubbles, in the dot-coms, you had bubbles in the housing market. This is almost like a reverse bubble in gold. We have a bubble in fiat currencies. We have a bubble in the dollar. And when that bubble pops, right, those currencies are going to crash, and you're going to see the collapse in the price of gold, because the price of gold rising will be the collapse of the fiat currencies.
Well, I find it to be still trustworthy, certainly, but I notice a lot of people who are aware of this coming dollar crash, let's say, are looking to protect their assets, and not all of them are looking into gold and silver, but a lot of people are getting into cryptocurrencies, and over the last couple of months there's been an explosion in the Bitcoin markets, and hundreds of altcoins have popped up. What are your thoughts on that and the volatility of Bitcoin?
Well, again, this is people jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. I mean, if people are worried about fiat currencies losing value, they're basically buying a crypto alternative. They're buying a crypto fiat currency. And I think that based on the volumes, people rushing into this small market, you have seen this big rally, but this is another bubble. And people need to be buying gold, not only as a hedge against fiat currencies, but now as a hedge against digital currencies, because they're all going to implode. And I think a lot of people are trying to compare digital currencies to gold. There is no comparison. There is no real value there. They have much more in common with paper money than they do with gold money, real money. And some people say, well, there's not as much inflation because, like, let's say in Bitcoin, there's a limited amount of Bitcoins that can be created. That may be true, but there's an unlimited amount of competing digital currencies that could be created that are the same as or maybe better than Bitcoin. So the inflation, in fact, you mentioned, look at all these cryptocurrencies. The inflation in the cryptocurrency universe is enormous. They keep on creating them. And the higher the price goes, the more incentive there is to create new ones. But eventually, a lot of people who are holding on to these cryptocurrencies are going to want to start spending them. And the price is going to have to implode. I mean, I don't think these cryptocurrencies are ever going to deliver on their promise of functioning as real money in the world. Right now, they're just speculative assets, and people are buying them, and the price is rising. But during the dot-com bubble, you had the same thing. You had a lot of companies that never could actually deliver on their promise, which was operate a business profitably. But that didn't stop speculators from bidding up the price of their stock. So I don't think something like Bitcoin is ever going to succeed at being money. It's not going to be used as a medium of exchange, as a store of value, but what it is now is a speculative asset. People are buying it, it's appreciating, and the people that own it on paper are making money, and some of them are actually cashing out and making real money, but the majority of the paper wealth that's been accumulated is still sitting there. But you do have people that are coming in and buying at these high prices. Ultimately, the bubble's going to pop and the thing's going to come crashing down. The question is, how much bigger is this bubble going to get? Have we already seen the peak? Or is this going to be the biggest bubble of all time? I mean, I don't know where it stands compared to like the tulip bubble from Holland. It's certainly not as big as the dot-com bubble if you look at the market cap of all the cryptos compared to the market cap of all those dot-coms. But I would say that even now it's probably one of the all-time greatest bubbles. Whether it gets even bigger than that and could be, the biggest bubble, we'll see.
Well, it doesn't seem like it's about to go away anytime soon. Maybe certain coins will, but I suppose the idea or the blockchain technology is not about to go away anytime soon. So could there perhaps be a consolidation of all these coins into one, or maybe like a Bitcoin 2.0 or some sort of new currency to emerge that's actually going to work?
I mean, I think there could be a difference between the blockchain itself as a technology and the implications that it has versus the value of these tokens, these cryptocurrencies that can utilize the blockchain. Of course, a lot of other things can utilize the blockchain. And of course, you can have cryptocurrencies that are actually backed by something tangible like gold. So you can have cryptocurrencies that would have some real value and still utilize the blockchain. But I think people are differentiating between, blockchain, therefore Bitcoin, the only way you can have access to that highway is through this Bitcoin, and that's not the case. But that's how people right now are speculating, and they're being rewarded because other people, other fools, are paying greater prices than the previous fool. So you have this dynamic going on. But you have a real problem in official fiat currencies. Central bankers are in a box. They have created these bubbles. They have printed too much money. Now they got interest rates at zero. They have negative rates. They have their balance sheets are exploding. There is a currency crisis coming, so there's a reason to be skeptical of these of fiat currencies, and there's a reason to look for a hedge. But people are taking the wrong choice if they end up in a cryptocurrency. They should be going back to real money. They should be going back to gold, not something that people say is as good as gold. It's not. It's not even close. And you do have, like, I'm here at this conference with Gold Money, which is a company that I work with. Gold Money, if you're really looking for a way out of fiat currencies, Gold Money is the way to go, because Gold Money does everything that a cryptocurrency does as far as your ability to spend it online and use it in commerce, except it goes much further in that it's a reliable store of value. It's not something that could blow up any day. The only thing that's different is that the cryptos will say, well, but it's not decentralized because somebody has to store your gold. Yes, because the gold is valuable and you need to store it. There's nothing to store in these cryptocurrencies because there's nothing there. There's no substance. But gold has substance. It needs to be stored. But with Gold Money, the gold is stored with Brinks. And in its history, Brinks has never lost an ounce of gold that has been entrusted to it. And you can pick your storage facility anywhere in the world. You can diversify your storage. But the beauty of it is the gold that you have on deposit at Gold Money is as liquid as the dollars you have in your bank account. What you're doing with Gold Money is banking your gold. And now you have gold in a form that you can use it as money conveniently. It's not like you just have to carry around a coin in your pocket. You have a digital wallet full of gold, and you could buy a cup of coffee with gold, or you could buy a car.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of the misconception with people who want to invest. They say, well, how do I move the metals? I mean, even just to send something from one country
to move it. The metal stays where it is. All that moves is the ownership. Like if you go back to the Federal Reserve, when the Federal Reserve is holding gold, let's say from Australia and Norway, and it needs to move gold from Australia to Norway, they don't ship it. It's in the same room. They just move it, from the section that's for Australia to the section that's for Norway. So if you have gold on deposit through Gold Money, and let's say you're storing it in Singapore in a vault, and if I want to give some of my gold to someone in Australia, all that changes is who owns the gold. The gold doesn't go anywhere. It stays in that same vault. It's just that now Brinks changes the ownership from me to whoever I gave it to. So it's perfect for commerce. It's ideal for e-commerce. It brings the gold standard into the 21st century, and it enables individuals to put themselves on a gold standard. You don't have to wait for the government. You can reject the banking system. You can reject fiat currencies and have gold standard 2.0. You don't have to go to a crypto fiat currency because people are going to lose as much money, if not more, in these.
I agree. I mean, gold is always going to be worth something to somebody forever, and any one of these cryptocurrencies could crash at any day. I do feel, I mean, we it's good to diversify your portfolio, maybe put in a little bit in cryptos, whatever you're willing to lose, I suppose, is all you should be playing with.
Well, that's the mentality. That's why people are buying them like lottery tickets. I read this article some guy actually wrote in a serious manner where, well, each Bitcoin could be worth $1 million. So it's insane. There's no way that's ever going to happen. But the possibility of it happening, it's like, oh, I'm going to buy it like a lottery ticket. So you have people doing that now, and that's part of the demand for the currency, and one of the reasons it's going up.
So if people do want to go, maybe get involved in metals instead of cryptos, where should they be looking?
Well, you should get physical gold from my company, Schiff Gold. And if you really want a currency that you can spend online or that you can earn, more important than spending gold is earning gold. If you have a product, if you have a service that you want to sell, why not get paid in gold? And so opening up a gold money account, your business can accept payments in gold. Even if your customers don't have gold, they can pay you with fiat and it gets turned into gold when it comes into your account. So goldmoney.com is where you should be. And if you have some cryptocurrencies, you can take your Bitcoin and use them at Gold Money to buy gold. So you can turn your digital fiat into real money by paying for your gold using your Bitcoin, and do that before the bottom drops out of the market.
Yep. Good advice. Once again, thank you for talking to us. We'll have the links in the description below. Check them out. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.